but has continued involvement in the life of Midland. This Distinguished Midland Family Award is presented today to a family with multi-generational commitment and involvement to the university. It's an award that honors the institution's academic heritage by recognizing a family with close and loving ties to university students, parents, professors, administrators, and friends. In fact, it's a name that I have heard over and over and heard about the hospitality of this family and the impact that this family has had on generation after generation of students. So here today to present this family and present this award is Reverend Dr. Bill Nelson, who I invite to come up here, also a Midland alum, interim president of Midland, and many things, but here today because of his knowledge and experience of our legacy family. Bill?
Thank you very much, John. I appreciate it. I was a student here at Midland from 1959 to 1963. So I had the privilege of being on campus for 2 of the years when these outstanding women were students at Midland as well. But in my junior year, then Carol Steyer came to Midland as well. So when I was asked by John if I would be willing to help in the presentation to this very special family, I immediately said, oh, yes, yes. And I would deem it a great privilege and a great honor and a great pleasure to have that opportunity. Because when Carol Steyer and the family very quickly got deeply involved in the life of Midland, when Carol came to serve as our Dean of Men, it was like a wonderful breath of fresh air that came to the campus because of the type of person he was. He was a Dean of Men who would be tough when he needed to be tough, but also who showed such caring and love and deep interest in the life of all of us as students that we just felt the warmth whenever we went into his office, even if he was going to get after us for not doing something that we ought to be doing or doing correctly along the way. And then, as I mentioned, the family quickly got involved in the life of the campus, and so all kinds of activities, you would just see the Steyer family, Carol and his wife, Carolyn, Shirley, who would be there. And yes, even the kids then started coming to these events, whether it was watching a football game or going to a music performance or something else on the campus. They were just there. They were part of the life of our institution. So yes, I deem it a real deep pleasure to have this opportunity. For more than 50 years and through 3 generations, the Steyer name has been synonymous with Midland University. The Steyer legacy began in 1961 when Dr. Steyer accepted a position as a Dean of Men and Sociology professor at Midland. It began a 26-year run for Dr. Steyer at Midland that saw him named Vice President for Student Services in 1969 and eventually Vice President of Student Affairs in 1976. He was chosen as an outstanding educator in all of America in 1973. Former Midland President Dr. Carl Hansen, under whom Carol Steyer served for many years, recalls Dr. Steyer as being not only an outstanding representative for the college, but a mentor for the students, and indeed that was correct. He was a wonderful part of my administration, always thoughtful and truly student-centered, Dr. Hansen said. Of all the people I've had the privilege of working with in academia, he's near the top of the list of those I deeply admire. What a wonderful man and wonderful family. John Steyer, class of 85, one of 3 children of Dr. Steyer and Shirley, said his father always showed an interest in wanting to mold and shape the lives of young people, starting with his days as a parole officer for the state of Nebraska. By the way, we knew of that background of his. That made a little difference when you walked into his office, too. He had been an admissions counselor at Doane, his alma mater, and a parole officer, and both jobs required an understanding of people, John said. He loved helping shape lives, especially those less fortunate. It was that passion that kept him fueled all the years he served at Midland. John said his father's mentoring of young people extended beyond the walls of Midland. It was also a role his mother embraced. We would love having students in our home. Yes, they did, often, for meals, especially international students, he said. My mom was my dad's biggest supporter and quickly became one of Midland's biggest supporters. We went to virtually every sporting event, yeah, that was true, musical concert, whatever was going on, we were there with my father. Carol and Shirley's love for Midland quickly spread to their children as all three, Bill, Karen, and John, would either graduate or attend university. That love spread to other generations as John's son Dylan, class of 16 from Midland, became an All-American baseball player at Midland and would meet his future wife, Kylie Schmidt, class of 15 at Midland. John also got to see his oldest son, Adam, serve as an assistant baseball coach for 3 years of Dylan's career at Midland. Having a Midland legacy after my siblings and me has been thrilling, John says. We are quite proud of Adam and how he made Midland baseball better, and I'm certain somewhere down the line he will guide his own team. Says John, Dylan graduating was a very special moment, and watching him set almost a dozen records was icing on top. Seeing him receive the Petro Award for Outstanding Male Athlete at Midland was special because I remember so many of my Midland sports heroes that received that award. Carol retired in May of 1987. Shirley passed away in 1994. And Carol died in 2007. But their memory lives on. The Dr. Carol and Shirley Steyer Scholarship Fund that is awarded each year. John says more than 50 years of Midland memories will always be with him and his family. I remember as a child in the 60s being invited to eat Sunday evening dinners at Mom's Scott's apartment in Men's Memorial Hall. She kind of adopted us. I mean, that's an amazing thing to think of a family in Men's Memorial Hall to start with, right? She kind of adopted us, he recalled. I was even basketball ball boy for several years under Coach Mike Dremel. His sons, Jeff and Mike, were my sports heroes. Even the memories of the eeriness of the old administration building and the smell will never fade, nor will his memories of walking across the stage in Hopkins Arena to get his degree. John says his memories span 57 years, and he's still making more. So, ladies and gentlemen, in recognition of the Steyer family's outstanding commitment to and love for Midland, they are presented this afternoon with Midland University's Distinguished Midland Family Award. So please join me in congratulating John Steyer and the entire Steyer family on this well-deserved honor. Steyer family, please stand and take a moment to be recognized by all of us. Please stand, the Steyer family. Now I'd invite John Steyer to please come on stage and accept the award. And President Jody will come and present that to you, and then we'd invite John to come up here and make a few words on behalf of the Steyer family.
We'll slide over a little bit. You hold.
John, I turn this over to you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Nelson. Well, we had a chance to talk for a few minutes, and I found out that he was selected to introduce us. It was really cool because I remember watching him on the gridiron. President Horner and the Alumni Awards Nomination Committee and Dr. Egan and the staff that helped put all this together. Excuse me. Midland University alumni and supporters. I just really want to thank you. You know, I always hear when people receive awards so many times you hear, man, I wish my mom and dad were here to see this. And I don't know how it works on the other side. Maybe they are. I hope so. But really want to congratulate all the award winners today. It was just so neat to witness, from the current students to the wonderful alumni with their story to tell. Dr. Dilly doesn't know this maybe, or remember, how many children have you delivered through the years? She delivered our oldest daughter. This is my sister Karen Lundy Steyer, and I'll introduce you to our family briefly here in just a couple of moments. Just a couple of words. I'll keep it brief. Dr. Nelson mentioned that my dad's love for students, especially underprivileged students. My dad's father passed away when he was no more than a toddler. He was raised by a mother who was widowed very young, single family household, could barely, rub two rocks together. And I think it was this background that really gave him a passion for helping those who were underprivileged. And he, in his tenure at Midland, I remember him sharing stories with my mother, not a lot specific, but I just remember him sitting around the dinner table talking about his concern for this student or that student and how he was going to see them through it and keep them in school. And that was a real passion of his. To show you a little bit what was inside my dad's heart, he had one student from the East Coast who was really struggling just to stay in school. And he was very self-conscious about his dental work. And he was in talking with my dad one day, and Dad was trying to get to the root of his attitude, and ends up he was very self-conscious. And so my dad said, I want you to call this person and make an appointment. And so he gave him a number of a dentist. And the child went to the dentist, not knowing how he was going to pay, and when he left, the dentist said, it's been taken care of. My father and my mother paid for the child's dental work when they had 3 of their own kids with bad teeth. So that's a little look at the inside of my dad's heart for students and underprivileged students. My mom was right there with him. She was his biggest supporter. And we had many international students come into our home, fix us delicious, intriguing dinners. But she was also my dad's biggest supporter. Many don't know that my dad took a leave of absence to achieve his doctorate degree. And my mom went to work full time so we could make ends meet while he focused on getting his doctorate degree. And she typed his dissertation for him, and I don't know, some of the younger students won't remember this, but onion skin paper and carbon copy, carbon paper. It was a difficult task, but she worked all day, came home and tended the kids, and then I would hear her in my parents' bedroom. She had a typewriter. I'll explain to our kids what that is a little later. Typewriter set up on the card table, and I'd hear her pecking away after midnight, working on my dad's dissertation, and then back at work the next morning. But she knew how much it meant to him and what this school meant to him, and so she was his teammate here at Midland. That's the heart of my parents. They were loving, they were giving, and that's why they felt important. My dad felt it important especially to give after they were gone. And my family hopes to do the same. I would like to take just a few minutes to introduce my family. It means a great deal. They were here. My wife was devastated she couldn't be here. She and my daughter and my sister-in-law and mother-in-law had planned a trip to Chicago last spring, and this was the weekend. So, but my partner, my wife Taylor Steyer, was always. I got married very young, and when I was in college, and we had a young child, and who Dr. Dilly delivered. And she knows what it's like to be a teammate when lifting gets very heavy, and has done so our whole life. So she's unable to be here, but wants you to know that she's here in spirit. This is my sister Karen Steyer Mundy, who also attended Midland University. Her significant other back here, Gene Dinslage. Where's Gene? Oh, there he is, holding the grandson. Gene's son Brent also played baseball at Midland. Her son Nick is unable to be here because of work, but he's here in spirit. Nick's fiancee, Michaela Sofel. Michaela, if you'd stand up. His fiancee, Michaela, and their son, Desmond, back there, who is being shy right now. My brother Bill is a 1974 Midland graduate and lives in Louisiana. His two children, Justin and Alicia, live in Washington, but they want the family to know that they're here in spirit, and they want pictures and all that stuff. Our daughter, Jessica Steyer Reed, as I said, is traveling with my wife, Terry, but her husband, Dr. Chad Reed, is back there filming it. Thank you. Internal medicine at Methodist Hospital. Our grandchildren, Emily, their daughter Emily, stand up. There you go. Olivia and Mia, as we call her, Bubba. We love those granddaughters. Adam Steyer, you heard Adam mentioned in the remarks. Adam, if you'd stand up. Until this month, was a baseball coach at Midland for 5 years. He had a great tenure there. 4 out of the 5 years he was there, they made it to the opening round of the NAIA National Championship. And he is, I was at an event, a Midland event here not long ago, and it was very rewarding. I had 3 different coaches come up from Midland and tell me how much they thought of Adam, not only as a coach, but a recruiter, and his relationship with young men. That meant a great deal to me, and I still think, even though he's left to take a job in Oklahoma, I still think he'll be back someday in the baseball ranks. Who knows? He's going to find a way to get his baseball fix somehow. His family, Jacqueline Truitt, and their precious 6-month-old daughter, Adeline Jade Steyer, Midland class of 2037. We're unable to be here, but they're here in thoughts and prayers too. Our middle son, Christopher Steyer, who is in sales in San Francisco, could not be here, but he and his girlfriend, Morgan Glennon, also say they are here in spirit. We have a lot of people here in spirit today. Our son, Dylan Steyer. Dylan, if you'd stand, class of 16. As Dr. Nelson already, you stay stand. Okay, he's the shyest one of our bunch. He's a business graduate, works in the Woodhouse Auto Family Marketing Department as a brand manager. As Dr. Nelson mentioned, very proud. He's Midland's first All-American baseball player, Peter Award winner, and still holds a bunch of records, including the home run record at Midland. His beautiful wife, Kyla Schmitz Steyer, back in the corner, holding our beautiful new grandson. She is a 2015 psychology and criminal justice graduate from Midland. She was a member of Midland's national championship dance team in 2015. And then there's both of their biggest trophy, which she is holding our new grandson, Paxton Joseph Steyer, 2 months old and Midland class of 2037. I already have this all planned out for them. They don't know that yet. And we don't have in-laws. We just have extended family. But by title, I'll label them for you. My sister-in-law, Julie Taylor Schaefer, attended Midland. She's also in Chicago with my wife, but she's here in spirit. She's represented today by her son, Ethan Schaefer. My brother-in-law, Kent Taylor, who is also filming back there, attended Midland and has his own audiovisual production company in Lincoln. Kent, thanks for being here. Hope you're putting those practices to good use there. My brother-in-law, Eric Taylor, if you'd stand, Eric, Midland graduate and is the editor-publisher of the Bellevue Leader newspaper in Bellevue. His beautiful wife, Kim Rebby Taylor, many of you know, Midland graduate and development officer here at Midland University. In fact, I understand you made these nice ties, is that right? I did. And we're very excited to say that our extended legacy continues with a student athlete at Midland University. Kim and Eric's son, our nephew, Jason Taylor, is a sophomore tennis player at Midland. Jason, you stand up. And their son, Braden, who I reminded him will wear navy and orange soon. It's a sophomore freshman at Fremont High School. Great runner, and we look forward to seeing him in navy and orange someday. So as you can see, Midland University runs deep in our family, and it's on behalf of the two who started this legacy, Dr. Carol and Shirley Steyer, and all those I've introduced today, that we want to thank you for this wonderful award, and Warrior proud.